Okay, hey everyone, so I just wanted to do a video here showcasing the importance of full range versus limited range for the RGB values, really on any device, but I'll be showing the switch in particular here. So yeah, if you like these videos, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Yeah, just growing this channel little by little. So what inspired me to make this video was I was watching a movie on my Roku the other day. It was actually a different Roku. It was like the Pro Premium Roku version. But yeah, anyway, I hooked it up to a computer monitor, and obviously the Roku only has HDMI out, but I used HDMI to VGA converter here. I'll leave links to this stuff in the description if you're interested in getting HDMI devices on a CRT monitor. And yeah, so anyway, I hooked my Roku up, and yeah, I was just very disappointed though with, I was watching like an old Godzilla movie, and yeah, the black levels though were just horrendous. So yeah, anyway, and so I went into the Roku settings and I tried to set to full range, since I know that these PC monitors require full range. That's what they're looking for. However, the Roku does not let you switch between limited and full range. It's always limited 100% of the time. No questions asked. Kind of like the Wii U. So anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd show a video here just to kind of educate, I guess, on the importance of knowing what full and limited range is. And yeah, because it can make a huge difference on the image quality depending on what kind of display you're hooking up to. So to start off, let's just go into YouTube here, and I actually just pulled up a random trailer that I found. Well, it wasn't random. I mean, I looked up movie trailers and then I just picked one that seemed like it was okay. So yeah, this is Inside Out 2. So I'm going to turn off the flash on my camera. By the way, this is a Sony GDM-FW900 monitor. People say it's the best CRT ever made, and yeah, it is pretty cool, but I wouldn't recommend like trying to get one of these unless you can get a good deal on it, because yeah, I think a lot of other CRT monitors are also awesome. But yeah, let me change the settings on my camera though, and then I'll let you see if you can see anything that's wrong with this picture. So hold on one second. Okay, so obviously it doesn't look like this in real life. I'm overexposing the ISO on my camera because yeah, my camera isn't like the best. I'm just using my phone's camera. So yeah, but anyway, so do you notice anything that's off besides like everything being like overexposed and like whatever her name's whole body and everything? So I'll just kind of show you here. So you can see here, you can see like a very distinct line here, and it looks even, well, yeah, this is actually about how it looks in real life. But anyway, this is because this is the 60x9 line. So like, for example, if we go back to the switch main menu here, you can see that the menu actually comes clear down to here. So that's where the switch is drawing. This is the 60x9 image, and then this monitor is actually a let's see here, would it be 16x10? So that's why there's black bars on the top and bottom. But as far as where the switch is drawing, it's just drawing a 16x9. And so then, but you can see then this movie is a widescreen, aspect ratio, which I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but as you can see, it is wider than 16x9. And so that's where you're seeing this. You can see it's like red up here. In fact, I bet if I overexpose it even more, you can probably even see it. You can't see it really better. I'll just leave it like that. But anyway, so you can see this slight line here. So basically, and then this is just kind of like blackish, reddish. It's a little reddish because I need to calibrate the colors on this monitor. But anyway, that's besides the point. Just pretend it's completely gray. But yeah, anyway, so the point is though, is that this should be all black, because it's like the switch is drawing this as black, and it should just fade into the black background of, what's not being drawn by the switch, if that makes sense. And so anyway, so basically that means that this is this like gray right here is your black reference. So that just means that everything else, all the other colors, are going to be based off of this gray instead of based off of the black, if that makes sense. And if it's based off of gray, that means all the other colors are going to be washed out a little bit. So why is that? Well, first off, let me overexpose my camera. Yeah, you can see now it looks way better, right? Of course, now on the camera you can't see that, the difference down here, but just trust me, it's still there in real life. So anyway, so why is this like this? Well, let me show you. Let's go into the system settings and scroll clear down here to TV settings. And then, yeah, as you can see, I have it set to 1080p. You can leave, usually I just leave this on automatic, but I just want to make sure it's in 1080p for this mode, for this test. But anyway, that's not the most important thing, though. I really could put this on another resolution if I want to. The big thing, though, is this RGB range. So I think most people don't know what this is, so this is what I want to talk about. So when you get your switch, it's just set to automatic. And yeah, and then when you hook it up to a PC computer monitor, it actually defaults to limited range. So you can see I choose limited range and nothing changes. Like, yeah, it looks exactly the same. Whereas now, if I change to full range, now pay close attention. Did you see that? It got a little darker. Okay, let me switch back to limited range. See that? Limited range got a little lighter. Full range is darker. So basically the way it works is that, so full range is, for SDR, is based off of, so there's a grayscale. So there's basically, it goes from 0 to 255. So there's, basically 255 different like levels of gray. So like from all the way from absolute black at 0 all the way up to 255. I guess technically it would be 256 since you include 0. But anyway, so that's the way that works for full range. And then limited range is 16 to 235. So there's less, technically there's less steps of gray. So I guess in a way you can kind of say that full range is technically better, I think. But in practice, I haven't really noticed a difference in quality, as long as you pick the right setting for what your monitor is expecting. So like, for example, where this is a computer monitor, this is a PC computer monitor, it is expecting full range because that's what PCs almost always output, like 99% of the time output. And so, so this is expecting that your absolute black level is going to be 0. However, when you set to limited range, then suddenly black, absolute black, pitch black, is 16. And when you have 16, so now the switch is saying, okay, I have absolute black here, 16, but then it's not really black. Because this monitor is expecting black to be 0, the value 0, but the switch is sending, the Nintendo Switch is sending the value 16. So that's why you have this discrepancy here where it actually looks gray instead of black. Anyway, so that's the way that works. So now, so this is limited range again, so I switched it to limited range. Now I'm going to show you how it's supposed to look. We go down here and switch it to full range. Yeah, and again, I wish this would just work all the time, and usually it does, but again, when you hook up to PC monitors, I don't know why, but it usually doesn't work. So yeah, you just want to keep this in mind. But now you can see we don't see that gray line there anymore. It's just it's just pretty consistent here. So then it's just black and black, and then that means that now, since this is black and the switch is sending out 0 here instead of 16, that means that all the other colors are now based off of pitch black. And that is important because contrast, and I mean the difference between light and dark, is what really, really makes the colors pop out. So that's why, OLED screens are so popular, or CRTs as well. One of the reasons anyway, because they can achieve that pure black where just nothing is being drawn. Or I guess in CRT's case, almost pure black, because there's a little bit of light that kind of gets bled out in a lot of cases into like the black phosphorus, but it's pretty much pitch black. But yeah, OLEDs they literally just turn off the pixels, so it's a little different technology. But yeah, CRTs are pretty close to OLEDs. Definitely way better than LCD TVs. But anyway, so for PC CRTs, long story short, make sure you always set to full screen. I mean, not full screen, full range RGB. However, now let's go ahead and show what it looks like over here. So this is an HD CRT. Let me turn on my flash. Okay, there we go. So yeah, this is a Panasonic HD CRT. So yeah, I am going to hook my switch up to this because, so this one's interesting. First I'm going to show you component. So component, this TV, again, TVs, almost all TVs, even nowadays, like, you know, your 4K OLEDs or whatever, they're expecting limited range. And you can set them to, usually they're set to automatic actually, and they usually do a pretty good job at auto detecting what kind of signal you're sending them. However, you can force them to have full range. However, I would not recommend that because then you also have to force all of your devices to also output full range. And again, like I said, in the case of the Roku or like the Wii U, or even like older consoles like the Nintendo 64, those systems, they just always output limited range. So in my opinion, it's better just to have it auto detect. And again, modern TVs do a pretty good job at auto detecting. However, like older TVs like this one, I think this was like from 2003, I think, or 2002, I can't remember. But yeah, anyway, I guess I could look at the back if I wanted to see what year it is, and I do have it on wheels, so I could pull it out, but yeah, it's still kind of big, so I'll just leave it here. It was from the early 2000s, but anyway, this TV doesn't have auto detect, so it just expected that everything that would be sent to it would be limited range. And again, DVD players are set up to be limited range by default. Really, almost all devices are set to be limited range by default. So yeah, again, I would just leave, unless you know you're going to connect to a PC monitor like this, I recommend just leaving your Nintendo Switch or DVD player, whatever, to set to automatic. Yeah, or limited range if you want to, but I would just set it to automatic, and then yeah, just let it, just not worry about it, basically. Yeah, but anyway, now I'm gonna hook my switch up to this using this HDMI to component adapter that I have. So let me show you down here. Where is it? There it is. So this just takes the HDMI signal and doesn't do any scaling or anything. I do have one that does scaling, but I'm not going to be using that right now. But yeah, this just takes the pure HDMI signal and just converts it to a component. And in the case of this TV, I actually have to set my switch to 480p as well, because this TV only accepts 480p and 1080i signals, and the switch doesn't do 1080i, unfortunately, only 1080p. So anyway, let me get that set up, and then I'll show you why it is then important to choose limited range when you're hooking up to a regular TV. So yeah, hold on one second. Okay, and by the way, I just thought I'd show this real quick. So this is what happens when you try to force a 1080p signal into a 1080i TV. So again, this adapter is not doing any scaling, but anyway, I'm going to pause the video. Actually, I guess I can show you. So if you do have this, what you can do is you can actually just unplug the switch here, which I can't do with one hand because it's really hard. Well, basically, okay. Oh, now it started. Okay, pause. Okay, unplug the switch, then it started playing. Okay, basically, I'll just tell you what. Basically, if you unplug the switch, then you can go in and change the resolution settings. Actually, I think I can do it right now since it's kind of like outside the stock. This is an official dock, by the way. I just have it in a different case. Okay. So now you can see, even though it's in handheld mode, I can still go in here and then I can pick my resolution. So yeah, I'm going to pick 480p, just like that. And then I'm going to plug it back in. And now you can see it's working. So yeah. Anyway, So that's what that was all about. All right, so now as you can see, we have it in full range. So I'm going to switch it back to limited, just because, yeah, that's what this TV is expecting. And yeah, you might have seen it get a little brighter there. I'll turn down the ISO again, so that's a little closer to what I'm seeing in real life. Okay, and then also another thing I'm going to do is I don't know if this TV, I think, oh, it is in cinnamon mode. Okay, yeah, I like to have this TV in cinnamon mode because, yeah, the black levels are a lot better. Yeah, the other ones like vivid and stuff, I'll have to do another video on that showing why vivid mode and especially is like egregious. I mean, it pops off, and if you don't know, I don't know. Let's see, how do I put this? I'll save this for another video, but basically vivid mode is what your TV usually comes with out of the box, and it looks like vivid, you know, obviously, but then if you know what you're looking for though, and maybe I'm ruining it for people, maybe if I make that video I'll ruin it for people, but if you know what you're looking for, then you'll see that vivid mode is actually horrible. See, I don't know, maybe don't watch that video if you don't want to be spoiled. Yeah, just keep on, what's the saying, ignorance is bliss, right? But anyway, let me turn off this flash here. All right. Okay, so this is a slightly different scene since it went forward a little bit. But yeah, so anyway, this is limited, and yeah, looks great, right? Okay, now watch this. Now, the reason why well, let me just explain this. So, I have seen other YouTubers and just other people in general say that, oh, it's good to look at this. You know, you pick full range when you're going into a limited range TV, and look at this. Everything just gets a little darker. Everything just looks a little richer. And, you know, and look at this. I mean, even here, like, it looks like the colors are popping out more, right? Almost like your vivid mode. So yeah, so I've heard other people say, you know, hey, this is a switch hack. You know, well, not a switch, like a switch life hack, I guess, because you're not hacking your switch, but because basically, you know, like I said, your switch comes with automatic. Usually people don't change this setting. And I've heard people say, hey, yeah, just switch to have, you know, fuller colors, switch it to full range, and just leave it like that all the time on your limited range TV. I have literally heard people say that. I mean, they don't say limited range TV because they don't know what they're talking about, I don't think. But yeah, they just say, yeah, switch it to full range. You know, for whatever reason, the Switch doesn't have this by default. Change this easy setting. And yeah, and I mean, from first glance, you know, on a bright scene like this, it does look more vibrant, I must say, you know, and yeah. However, now let's go into a dark scene and I'll show you why you do not want to do full range on a limited range TV. So let me pause the video while I get this set up. Okay, so first off, I'm going to switch it back to limited range. Okay, and now I'm going to go into Ocarina of Time here. Okay, so right now the black levels look really good, by the way. So again, this is limited range. So this TV is expecting that 16 to be pitch black, and then 235 is, you know, pure white. So yeah, so the black levels look awesome right now. Of course, the Nintendo Switch Online has these really ugly borders here. But now let me pause the video and I'll get into a really dark scene. Okay, so this is inside the Dookie tree. Or Daki tree, I guess they call it. Okay, so let me fix the ISO on my camera so you can see this a little better. Okay, so there you go. All right, so again, so this is a very dark area. This is where you go down and fight Queen Goma. And so yeah, so you can see that it is dark, but you can still see these details like in the wall and everything. And again, this is limited range. However, now I'm going to pause the video and switch to full range, and well, yeah, I'll let you be the judge of how it looks. Okay, and here's full range. So look at that. Remember how we could see like a little bit of the details in the wall here? This now you can barely see anything. So again, this is what they call black crush. meaning that the blacks are just being like, not like, the black detail is just being crushed. Like, it's, you just don't see the black detail anymore. And you can even like see it a little bit on Link's outfit here. But basically, when you're in a dark scene, you want to be able to see, you know, details that are supposed to be able to be seen. And again, you don't want to have it overexposed either, which I'll show you in a little bit, because yeah, you can go too far. Yeah. But anyway, basically, this is being crushed in full RGB mode. And again, this is what happens in vivid mode as well. You know, I'll have to say that for another video, but basically, vivid mode almost always crushes blacks as well. So again, if you know what you're looking for, then you'll see that vivid mode is also horrible. But anyway, let's switch over back to limited range and just see how much everything clears out. Okay, and then here is limited range again. Again, same ISO settings on my camera. Everything's the same settings. The only thing I changed, you know, good scientific process, only change one variable at a time, right? The only thing I changed was limited range. So I changed it to limited range from full range. And now, as you can see, there's more of the detail here in this background. Actually, I can even see more in real life. Even now, my camera isn't doing it complete justice. But yeah, you can see up here as well. Like, yeah, there's just a lot more detail in the black areas. So again, this is the component input on my TV. However, this TV also has a digital DVI input. So what do you think? Do you think the DVI input, just on a logical level, do you think the DVI input is going to be full range or limited range? So again, like I said, this is generally speaking, this is a limited range TV, you know, consumer HD CRT TV. However, DVI is a PC signal first. Especially back in the day, DVI, even Apple was pushing DVI really hard. Now they've dropped it and they still have VGA adapters. Funny enough, like USB-C to VGA, but yeah, they don't have DVI anymore. But yeah, it was funny back in the day, they were dropping all their VGA support and trying to push everything towards DVI. But anyway, I'm getting off a rant. But yeah, anyway, now let's test out the DVI port. And let's see if it really is, you know, a PC port, you know, full range, right, from 0 to 255, or if it's expected limited range since this is a TV. So yeah, let me get that hooked up. Okay, there we go. So yeah, so I literally just unplugged the HDMI cable that was going into that component adapter, switched the inputs, and then I plugged in a HDMI to DVI cable. Yeah, no conversion there. Well, I mean, there is conversion, but there's no like extra box. It's literally just a HDMI to DVI cable. That's it. And again, this is limited range still. And yeah, as you can see, so see, this is another thing where, you know, you can easily get confused. Because yeah, I haven't changed my camera settings at all. And now you can actually see, you know, compared to the other mode, we can actually even see more detail here in the background. So then, you know, and even up here, so you might be tempted to think, oh wow, you know, limited range, going through this DVI port, I can even see more, you know, detail in the background. Yeah, but again, it's actually wrong. And to show you that it's wrong, I'm going to switch it back to full range mode. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you see it got a little darker there. And now you can see we're seeing just about the same amount of detail as what we were seeing before. So yeah, so anyway, long story short, okay, I actually had to pause the video there because I was testing this before I made the video. But actually I think I was mistaken actually, because it looks like the blacks are actually being crushed again on this full range mode. Oh wow, so that's actually, oh man. Boy. Wow, well that's unfortunate. So basically that means that through this, I don't know, it can be good or bad. I think overall it's actually probably good, unless you're actually trying to hook a PC up to this, which back in the day is probably what he would have been doing with that digital port. But anyway, basically, the TV is still handling the DVI input as if it were limited range. Because yeah, as you can see in full range right now, the blacks are being crushed. So yeah, that wasn't what I was expecting. However, that does appear to be the case. So yeah, so actually, yeah, because like I said, I paused the video. Actually, I paused the video and then I switched back to the component just to double check. But yeah, anyway, you can see that the blacks are being crushed here on this wall. So now I'm going to switch to limited range. Okay, so here's limited range. So yeah, this one you can actually still see like a little bit of the details here in the background. And yeah, I was worried that it was going to, because, so basically here's the problem. Like what we saw on the FW900 monitor over here, basically the problem is that when you raise the black levels too much, like if you have a mismatch where your monitor is expecting full range but you feed it in limited range, then what that can also do is it can like overexpose like some of the details. So like for example, if something is supposed to be like completely black here, I'll just change the settings of my camera just to kind of show you crudely. But basically it's like you start to see more stuff than what you're actually supposed to see. And I know that sounds a little weird, but basically it's like stuff is getting overexposed. And again, it can kind of make it stand out. And I guess, if you like that look and you don't really care about accuracy, then, sure, go for it, play the games however you want, or, watch movies however you want. But if you're really going after accuracy, and if you want to make sure that all the other colors are like based off of pure black and so they really pop out instead of like based off of gray, then yeah, definitely match the RGB limited range and full range to whatever your TV or monitor is expecting. And again, you may have to go in here just like I just had to do and actually test it out and see which looks better. Because yeah, let's go back over to YouTube here, and yeah, let's go back to that scene and look at that on this TV as well. You know what? When I just pull this up, let me actually, in order to close this, I have to open up another thing because I'm using a Nintendo 64 controller and there's not a Y or X button, so I can't actually like close software. I wish Nintendo would, yeah, I don't know, think about Nintendo 64 stuff more so you can actually close software. But anyway, they're actually, so basically what I was going to say before is that you kind of just have to test your TV if there isn't like limited and full range mode on it. You just kind of have to test it to see which one looks good. But actually, just remembered a good way to test it. So basically, when you pull up one of these Nintendo Switch apps, first off, change your brightness in so they're not like overexposed. Don't be in vivid mode. I'll make another video about that. But then when you open up one of these games or apps or whatever, the Nintendo Switch like loading screen is actually supposed to be pitch black. So let's actually do a game that maybe has a longer loading screen. I know. Let's see here. Where's Zelda? There it is. Zelda Breath of the Wild. Okay, so like for example, so this is limited range right now. So you see right now it looks pitch black. So that looks really good. Now if this doesn't look pitch black and it looks like gray, then you know that you have a mismatch. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. But anyway, let's go back into YouTube and let's look at that picture again. Actually, I'm just kind of curious. Let's see what happens when we set to full range and then open up a new game. I bet it'll just be... See now, actually when it's in full range, it should still actually be about the same black level on this pitch black screen. Since, yeah, 0. Yeah, it looks the same. Yeah. And then everything else is just a little darker. So, anyway, let me go ahead and find that video again real quick. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is full range again. And again, it looks, pretty good. This is going into the digital port. And now I'm going to switch it to limited range and let's see how it changes. Okay, so here's limited range. So again, I know I already showed this before in the component, but yeah, I just wanted to show again on this digital input. But yeah, so going back and forth. Limited range appears a little more washed out, but realistically, and I don't know, maybe it's kind of a mental thing. And again, put your TV settings the way you want, but you just have to remember that like on limited range or on full range, if you're piping full range into this limited range TV, there's going to be like details maybe in the background that will be a little bit washed out or black crush. So actually, let's just kind of do an experiment. Let's pay attention to this kind of darker area and see if we notice any black crush here. So again, this is limited range, and I'm going to switch over to full range now. Okay, there you go. So yeah, so this is kind of a brighter scene, but yeah, it's a little bit harder to see the details. Yeah, a little bit harder. So again, it's not, when it's a bright scene, like this, whatever her name is. Joy, that's what her name is, I think. Yeah, when it's like very bright, like you may not notice as much black crush. But yeah, when it's a dark scene, though, like what we saw in Zelda, yeah, you're losing a lot of detail when you have a mismatch of full versus limited range. So anyway, let's go ahead and show you one more time how to switch this. Yeah, let's switch back over to limited range. So again, system settings in the switch. Again, may depend on what device you're on, but yeah, on the switch, this is how you do it. And you go back here, and yeah, now this is more details being shown. So anyway, and yeah, if you like these videos, again, make sure you subscribe, like, and all that stuff. And if I said something didn't make sense, or you want me to explain something better, let me know. I try to respond to most of the comments I receive. Unless there's like, I don't know, some of the comments I don't respond to because it's like I don't understand sometimes what they're saying, but I try to respond to everyone. At least that's the way it is for now. Maybe if this channel gets big enough, I won't be able to respond to everyone. I don't know, but like if I start receiving like millions of comments, I don't know, probably not, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'll try to respond is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Yeah, I'll leave links to this stuff in the description, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Yeah, there'll be Amazon affiliate links. It doesn't cost you any more, but it helps grow the channel. So yeah, anyway, talk to you later. Bye.